All right. How about a weekly video with some happy Christian news? Couldn't we use some happy Christian news? There's so much negative, bad things happening. So many frustrating things. If you have a biblical worldview, which I trust you do if you're watching this YouTube channel, you've got a biblical worldview, and just the world is spinning out of control. We're watching Romans chapter 1 play perfectly, verse by verse, in America. And sometimes we get overwhelmed, don't we? Leave your comment below. Do you want some happy Christian news every week? Perhaps that's in the future for this YouTube channel. Today is, what is today? Where's my calendar? June 9th, 2023. My name's Tim, the BTWN guy. Subscribe, like, and share if you would. That would be awesome. So, some happy Christian news for today. There is some. There is some. So, let's cover some. But before we do, if you appreciate what I do here, there's a link in the description of this video. That link will take you to this page where you can send a one-time gift or support this work monthly. If you do that, you'll make me happy. And you'll be able to watch all my YouTube videos without advertising and before they drop here on YouTube. So please consider doing that. Here is the first bit of happy news. Did you see this? I found this on Twitter. This is a billboard. And the billboard says, "'Tis the reason for the season." We're in the midst of Sin Month, a celebration of sin, and a construction company has put up this billboard with, that's the ark right there. That is, whoops, over here. That's Noah's Ark right there. "'Tis the reason for the season." Reclaiming the rainbow colors and reminding people that those rainbow colors are not a sign of happiness. They're the sign of a promise that God will never again destroy the earth via flood. The rainbow reclaimed by forged construction. 'Tis the reason for the season. I'm sure that thousands of folks look at that and think, what? They miss it. It goes right over their head. But good on forged construction. It's interesting how the world has stolen a symbol that really has a history of, that symbol represents after God destroyed all the evil, wicked people. So, good news. Good on forged construction. And then one other story. We only have two stories. And here's the second story. It is the Oklahoma Sooners women's softball team. Never thought I would make a video about the Oklahoma Sooners softball team. Here they are. Well, let me say this. This was this past week. They're being interviewed by ESPN. And these women are at the height of their sport. There is no higher level in women's softball than this college Division I women's softball. And they've been undefeated for quite a while. And before this was during the playoff, the College World Series. This was during the College World Series, and before they went on to win everything. So they did win everything, but they were asked about specifically how you deal with the pressure. How do you deal with the pressure of being undefeated? And this will make you happy.
We'll go to back row left.
Alex Garber with ESPN. For the players, I know you talked about keeping the joy of the game, but I'm curious, it's a long season, right? And you guys have had the target on your back the entire time. the win streak being number one. How do you handle the unique pressure that comes with that? How do you keep the joy for so long when anxiety seems like a thing that can very easily set in?
Well, the only way that you can have a joy that doesn't fade away is from the Lord. And any other type of joy is actually happiness that comes from circumstances and outcomes. I think Coach has said this before, but joy from the Lord is really the only thing that can keep you motivated, just in a good mindset, no matter the outcomes. Thankfully, we've had a lot of success this year, but if it was the other way around, joy from the Lord is the only thing that can keep you embracing those memories, moments, friendships, and all of that. So that's really the only answer to that, because there's no other way that softball can bring you that, because of how much failure comes in it and just how much of a roller coaster the game can be.
1000% agree with Grace Lyons. I went through that my freshman year. I was so happy to win the college. I've talked about this before, but I was just so happy that we won the College World Series, but I didn't feel joy. I didn't know what to do the next day. I didn't know what to do for that following week. I didn't feel filled, and I had to find Christ in that. And I think that is what makes our team so strong, is that we're not afraid to lose, because if it's not the end of the world if we do lose. Yes, obviously we've worked our butts off to be here and we want to win, but it's not the end of the world because our life is in Christ, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, I think a huge thing that we've really just latched onto is eyes up. And you guys see us doing this and pointing up, but we're really like fixing our eyes on Christ. And that's something where, like they were saying, you can't find a fulfillment in an outcome, whether it's good or bad. And I think that's why we're so steady in what we do, and our love for each other and our love for the game, because we know this game is giving us the opportunity to glorify God. Mm-hmm. And I just think once we figured that out and that was our purpose and everyone was all in with that, it's really changed so much for us. And I mean, I know myself, I've seen so much of a growth in myself with once I turned to Jesus and I realized how he had changed my outlook on life, not just softball, but understanding how much I have to live for, and that's living to exemplify the kingdom. And I think that brings so much freedom. And I'm sure everyone's story is similar, but we all have those great testimonies that have really like shown how awesome it is to play for something bigger. And I think that's just what brings me so much joy. And no matter the outcome, whether we get a trophy in the end or not, this isn't our home. And I think that's what's amazing about it, is we have so much more. We have an eternity of joy with our Father, and I'm so excited about that. And yes, I live in the moment, but I know this isn't my home. And no matter what, my sisters in Christ will be there with me in the end, when we're with our King. So,
wow,
Patty.
Wow. Rewind that and go watch it again. Can you believe that? Like, look at their smiling. She's smiling. We just did that. How do I not know about these girls? How do you not know about these girls? This whole softball team playing for Christ, not and have the joy of the Lord regardless of the outcome. There's a lot of biblical truth. There's a lot of firm grounding in biblical truths that just came out of these three women on the women's softball team at a secular college. Oklahoma is not a Christian. It's not a Christian institution, as far as I know. Oklahoma Sooners are, I don't know if they're independent or a state school or whatever. Whatever they are, it's a gigantic school. And the women's softball team has firm believers in Christ. And what joy they have. And they're prepared. Now, they did go on to win. They won the College Softball World Series that just happened. But they're prepared for what if they lost. They're prepared for trials. This is important. This is what I take away. Remember to be prepared when things don't go the way you want them to go. Ultimately, we have joy. We're just visiting here. There are bigger things in this world other than your job, your hobbies, the things that you hope happen, politics. What other things? We have letdowns in life. We have a lot of them. A lot of things don't go your way. But we have Christ. Be prepared for those difficult situations because they're coming. If you're not in one now, there's a trial coming right around the corner. And for these girls, it's their next loss. And there's lots of other things I'm sure going on in their own personal lives. But they have joy in the Lord because he's their strength. They've got a perspective of the temporalness of this world, and they've got an eternal view of the future, and they're going to be with Christ. Awesome. Happy news. Happy Christian news from BTWN News. Leave your comments below, and I look forward to the next video. Like and subscribe and do all that, and just have a great weekend. Till next video, my prayer is that God would bless every single one of you. What did you think? You want more happy news every week?